Good morning, guys. So this wait here, I had some stuff I had to do, so I got up at a different time and didn't get to recording this till now. So I've already ate my oatmeal and my protein shake, plus consumed some water. So we'll see where we're at. 186.6. Now I changed my diet for today, so the oatmeal I ate was with the changed diet. What's up, guys? Good evening. So as I said on my weigh in, I had some stuff I had to do today. So I had to get up kind of in the middle of the day and then go back to sleep. But kind of as a result, I didn't get to weigh myself prior to being up and drinking water. Ended up having eating my first meal, like my oatmeal, eggs, and protein shake. The weight doesn't have the eggs because I had cooked the eggs, but then while they were kind of cooling off for a second, I went in and recorded that and then went and ate my eggs. So yep. So today it marks the new change in the diet. It's really not a whole lot different. Basically, I cut out my yolks for my eggs and I cut half a cup of oatmeal and then I added an ounce of beef to each of my meals. So that's how it ended up equating. Now this is gonna end up changing because what I wanna do is, because obviously the less calories you have, the more hungry you're gonna be, right? You're eating less. And I eat 2 protein shakes a day plus my Carbolin. So my plan is to use what I currently have with the Carbolin, and then once that's out, I take that out of the macros and recalculate, which could equal out to adding a quarter cup or the whole serving back of oatmeal. So I'll be that way, my calories stay the same, but now I'm getting more like whole food. And then the same thing with the protein shake. I think if I can get away from both of the shakes and then there'll be 2 ounces that I've already just additionally added. And then if I can get away from the protein shakes and just add, and then say those are another 2 ounces themselves or another 3 ounces, whatever. And then I take all that and just create another meal of beef and then split up my cup of rice to 2 half cups and then do 4 meals instead of 3. I'm gonna have more whole food, and that's just gonna be better for me mentally and everything about not being hungry and stuff like that. So it's all gonna be the same calories, but I think people can rationalize, right, that if you have, something calorie dense like a Pop-Tart or something versus the equivalent amount of calories in something that's not as dense, like say chicken breast or something, you're gonna be way more full eating the same amount of calories in chicken breast than you would the same amount of calories in a Pop-Tart or a package of Pop-Tarts. So that's kind of the goal. That's been a little bit of a goal for a while, but I kind of just wanted to trust the processes of what I'm doing and then wait till it changed. I changed stuff, and now that I'm changing stuff, I'm just not gonna reorder those things for now. Because really, protein shakes are they're supplementation. A good example would be like if you're bulking, right, and you need to get a certain number of protein in for the day, certain number of grams, it can definitely help supplement it because it takes up less, the water, the powdered protein takes up way less space in your stomach, especially if you're already feeling that full from doing all the eating. It allows you to get that stuff in easier without it being such a burden on your digestive system. Maybe, I don't know, that's how I'd look. That's how I would imagine it to be. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. I think I posted on the Discord, I think it's under 1,700 calories. So 1,600 something. And then it's 184 grams of protein is what 1-to-1 is what I shot for. My fitness palette, I think it's 189 or something like that. I mean, we're not we're not sitting here trying to super scrutinize down to the gram of rice that I'm eating, you know what I mean? The gram of beef or chicken or whatever. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing with that. So I don't necessarily anticipate there to be a change tomorrow. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 days before I'd imagine there's going to be some sort of noticeable difference on the scale of what my weight is. And I don't really have a goal weight to be down at. I have a goal body fat percentage. That's essentially what it is. I want to be able to get back down to a body fat percentage, like I've talked about before, that I'm trying to reach. And once I can get down and get that lean, it's, then we'll see where I want to go with that. I know I've talked about this a couple times. It's just, as odd as it sounds, it does sound scary because it's you work all this time in the gym to put on a certain amount of size or weight or whatever. And when you diet, from this perspective, like, right, like I'm not fat by any means. So it's scary because it's like, is this gonna give me the result I want? You know, is lowering these calories gonna actually make me leaner, or am I gonna lose muscle? Like, it's definitely a trust the process type thing. You know, it's been years now since I had done any sort of bodybuilding or physique competitions, and you know, there's a lot of stuff that I kind of forgotten and or would need to relearn, and that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm kind of like relearning this, and yeah, it's kind of scary because you don't want to. I'm not saying I'm going to mess myself up, like I go to hospital or cause permanent damage, or like that's completely unrealistic. But it's like, I don't want to necessarily become smaller, right? I've spent years trying to obtain this, and it's like, it is kind of scary to think that's like this 170, this 160, like how low would I be, you know, to be that lean and doing it all natural? Because then it kind of tells me it's like, you know, if I get back down to being that lean, I have a picture, and on the wherever it was posted, I found it a while back, it said on there what my body fat percentage was and my weight for that body fat percentage. I think it was like 168. So, you know, the goal is like, if I can get back down to that body fat percentage and I'm above 168, then that tells me from 2012 or 2013 to now, I've put on roughly that amount of muscle. And then, you know, you can start to track that data. If I were to do a bulk up and then bulk back down, or not bulk back down, cut back down, is the number on the scale bigger then? And it's definitely just trusting the process. I think with the bulking part, it's always it's always really easy to just eat, right? Like, until you get to that upper threshold where you're eating, you know, so many thousand calories a day that all you do is eat. Yeah, the eating part is really not that difficult. You know, you just got to have the mental fortitude. Like, realistically, with what I eat now, I sure it gets old. Sure, I'd like to have other things, but it's like, it really is not so bothersome or anything that like I can't do this type thing. Like, I remember back when I was competing, it just really was mentally fatiguing to sit and diet like that. But I think I had less discipline back then, less self-control. I was younger. You know, putting yourself in situations, hanging out with friends, doing this, that, and the other, where it's like I was hungry, but maybe I didn't prepare myself to be able to eat or have the means to eat. So instead, now I'm like trying to figure out, I guess I'm gonna eat this snack or whatever it is, right? And so now, being older, like, to be honest, this isn't really anything. Like, and to be fair, when I've ate the stuff that I've been eating it for years, I mean, at this point, it just is what it is. It tastes what it tastes like. Like, it's not like when I was first starting to do this way back then, you're eating plain oatmeal. It's like, okay, nowadays it's like, you know, what I'll do with my oatmeal, like, my trick is I'll do like a packet of a flavored oatmeal, and then I'll just top off the rest of my serving with regular, like the quick oats or whatever. And that gives it some flavor. But say I run out of the oatmeal pack and I just got to eat it just raw oatmeal. I think I had to do that yesterday before we went to the grocery store, or the day before. It's not a big deal. Today, you know, eggs, just eating the egg whites instead of having the yolks, because the yolks add the flavor. I mean, not really a big deal. I mean, you got to flavor your stuff, like the ground beef and stuff like that. I mean, just eating it plain Jane, not even salt or pepper. I could get how it could be kind of demoralizing, but you got to season your stuff. I mean, it makes it so much more tolerable. But the point of where I was kind of going with all that is that, you know, it is concerning, and it's kind of, when it comes to dieting this way, when it's not like you're actively trying to lose weight for the sense of like you're obese or something, you know, it is kind of like concerning. It's like, well, how am I going to lose muscle? Am I going to do this or that? And it's just like, when I was thinking about that stuff today, making these changes, it's like, okay, I just have to trust the process that I'm doing and think about it in the scope of that, you know what, if I do lose muscle, if something negative like that happens, an unintended outcome that I didn't want happens, I just have to learn from this process. And if I learn say this next section of dieting down, I don't get any more leaner, I look exactly the same, and I'm just less weight, then it tells me, it's like, okay, well, I'm not doing something right here, because I should be getting more lean as I'm losing weight, because of the way that my diet structure. I'm not eating just only carbs, and that, you know, the way that I understand the process, that's how it should go. And if that isn't the case, then I need to learn from that. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I just got to trust this process, go along with it, and see where this road takes me. I think during it, obviously, we have the holiday times coming up. There's going to be a couple cheat meals here and there thrown in. to eat during the family events, that I'm not gonna like just completely go robotic with this. But on those days, I'll document and be like, hey, yeah, today I plan on eating this, doing that. And, you know, it just slows down the progress that I'm making on my current diet. But again, we're doing this for the said goal that I've expressed, and we're not doing this to do a competition. But if I were to do one, spur of the thing, you know, it would be pretty interesting to just basically just sign up and do one without any, like, sure, I'm prepping now, you could say, but like without actually designing a time frame for a prep. So other than that, tomorrow will be arms, and yeah, tomorrow's arms, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.